This is Culture, Communication, and Brand Moments with Shelby Joe Long, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Culture, Communication, and Brand Moments is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Shelby Joe Long.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Strategic Advisor Board podcast and the Rogue Publishing Partners podcast. I'm Shelby Joe Long. I am the CEO of Rogue Publishing Partners and the Senior Vice President of the Strategic Advisor Board. And today we have the opportunity to learn a little bit about what a book can do for your business. I'm joined by two other board members in Rogue Publishing Partners, Susie Schaefer and Scott Seary. And we're going to talk about what a book can do for your business and why you, as a CEO, should invest some time to write a book for your business. So let's start off with Susie. Susie, can you introduce yourself and what you do, and then give us some idea of what a book can do for your business?
Sure. I'm Susie Schaefer. I'm founder of Finish the Book Publishing and one of the directors with the Rogue Publishing Partners. And basically, I help people navigate their entire book from start to finish. And that means that I'm their guide and I help them through the entire process and make sure that they have a fantastic book when they come out of it. So Scott, I'll let you introduce yourself before we get into the conversation.
Sure. I'm Scott Seary. I'm a copywriter and a ghostwriter. So I work with those people that want to write a book, but they don't have the time or the skills to string the words together. So I write it for them. It's listed as their book, even though they didn't have to actually type the words. They just tell me what to put on paper.
That's great. And I've introduced myself. I'm Shelby Joe Long. I'm CEO of Business Dynamics, and I help people that have written books or people that want to leverage their expertise in a different way, put programs together, build a business out of their books, and build a business out of their ideas. And we all are very synergistic in what we do. It's great to have experts in the field. So let's start the discussion. Susie, why don't you start us off and tell us why a book can really help elevate your business?
Well, one of the things with a book is, and you probably have heard this before, but a book is really an expanded business card. And so when you are meeting people, whether you're doing speaking engagements or events or anything like that, you can actually use your book to introduce people to who you are and what you do. So it really establishes you as the expert in your field. One of the things I really like to do with my authors is to teach them what I call the trifecta, which is bringing together your story, your brand, and your community to connect the dots so that people understand who you are and why you do what you do.
Great. Can you tell us a story about someone that has published a book that's really done really good things for their business? Do you have a story about that?
Well, your book is coming out soon. I'll just mention that right off the bat. And truly, that's one of the processes we use when we're working with your book. And I think that's going to really help you leverage your expertise in the both in the different platforms that you're involved with, but also expanding your reach and creating a greater footprint for yourself and your business. Because you've actually connected your story, your brand, and your community to show people what you do and how you do it, and bring people into your circle.
Right. And my book is coming out in the next month, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it does, because I went the other direction. I had the program first, and then I'm publishing a book about the program and telling my story. And it's such a key part to my business. And I think a key part to most people's business, particularly if you have a book or if you're a CEO of a company and you have a leadership perspective that you want to share, or you want to talk about some of your processes. It's really a way to create that credibility stamp within your business. And it serves as a way to leverage your expertise to be able to reach much larger audiences. So I agree with all of that, and I'm looking forward to having the book behind the name for sure. Scott, why don't you tell us a little bit about your perspective about what a book can do for your business?
I think it mostly comes down to that being seen as an expert part of it. People buy from people they trust, and the best way to establish trust is to show that you know what you're talking about. And so when you have a book, even just any book, if your name is in print, all of a sudden you're a published author. And so it just bumps you up one step higher than the competition that isn't a published author. And so if it comes down to it and I see two businesses that I want to work with, and I'm trying to decide which one I want to go with, but I see business A has published 3 books and business B has not published any, I'm going to see business A as the more credible authority on the subject and probably go that direction.
Absolutely. That's a really, really great point. Not anybody can publish a book. As Susie can tell you and Scott can tell you, it is a long process to be able to put all those ideas together. Just writing the manuscript is a process in itself, but that's only a small piece of it. There's the editing, there's the designing, there's all those pieces of it that I wasn't aware of before I started writing a book. And then it's a process to go through. And once you are published and you can show that you've done that, it just gives you that much more experience and that much more credibility in your realm, for sure.
There are a couple things that I think many times authors don't consider too when they're writing a book. In the back of the book, you can create what we call back matter or a business page, and that allows people to see, okay, what's my business about? Where can they find my business? You also can bring in things that I find very important, which is the cause around your business. So whatever your mission is, do you partner with nonprofits? Do you create kind of a movement around that? Those kinds of things open up those conversations so that people see that you're not just this one-dimensional person, that you actually have a business, and your business might support a cause or an organization or things like that. And so it's a way that you can connect those dots. And again, this is expanding your footprint so that you can get out there in front of massive amounts of people and create that community around your business and your mission.
Yeah, I love that piece of what you do, Susie. And you always try to find the way to connect your message to a larger cause. I think that's such an important part about writing a book and connecting it to a cause and connecting your journey to a larger organization or a larger cause to bring attention to that, because it's all about influencing, it's all about creating a community, and that's such a key part to your brand. So I think that's really, really great. Scott, what are you working on right now? Tell us about the book that you're working on and the hopes to create a business with that.
Yeah, so the one I'm working on is for a local entrepreneur who has an incredible backstory of homelessness and poverty and drug addiction and in and out of jail until he finally figured out that we all have an addictive lifestyle some way or another. And he chose at first to be addicted to drugs. And then once he was forced to get cleaned up in jail, he refocused that addictive personality into beneficial things. And so the book is going through basically his entire life story on what happened to him that was outside of his control, how he reacted, how he realized that was the wrong reaction. And now he's taking that story and turning it into a business that he can help guide people no matter what they're coming from and turn it into something positive and something beneficial for society. We've been working on this we had to take some time off, but more than 6 months of just interviews and notes, and we're maybe a fifth of the way into the book of actually writing it. There's probably 75,000 words of just notes that now I have to turn into 75,000 words of an actual story.
Yeah.
It's a long process. It's very frustrating because I have this much information, but I have this much space to tell it all. And so it takes a lot of work to just hone it down, but still get the point across.
Sorry, Susie, go ahead.
That's okay. I think you brought up a good point, Scott, and that is that, many times people have this idea of nobody wants to hear my story, but this is a perfect example of someone who can share their story, and he's going to actually connect with those people that also have struggled with addiction or, a criminal record or whatever that might be. And so it helps connect those people to your community to show that your story does matter. And it is important that you do share that story, because that is how he's going to build his business.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, I've written probably 200 short biographies for people. Almost every single one of them, when I started talking to them, they're like, oh, we're just boring. We don't really do much. We don't have a good story. And every single time, once we started talking about what they do and what they're all about, there is a story in there that they didn't even know was there. And I was able to guide them along and pull that story out and turn it into something that was inspirational and people wanted to read about it.
Absolutely. All so many important things, common themes that people are dealing with, connecting to a cause, talking about the story. That's a key part to when people want to leverage their expertise beyond a book, to have a book and a program and build a business out of it, is to be able to connect your story to it. And having a book in your background to be able to connect to that just makes it that much more credible and makes it that much more real. And people can read about the lengthy story that you draw in with your short and more focused story that you write in your book. So all excellent conversations about what we can do, what a book can do for your business, and how you can create a business out of your book. There's many ways to do that, and it's just does nothing. There's nothing but good that can come of it. Any final thoughts before we wrap up this little interview about what a book can do for your business with Rogue Publishing Partners?
Well, I think that if there's anything that has sparked your interest or you find intriguing, please check us out at roguepublishingpartners.com. You are welcome to schedule a free consultation to chat about your book, about your business, and figure out if we are a good fit for you.
Just follow along, even if it's not the right time. There's a story in there that deserves to be known. And so just when the right time does come along, keep us in mind and follow all of our individual LinkedIn and social pages. We post about Rogue all the time. I post about the rest of my business and then just life in general. And so then when it comes time to write your book, we'll get it taken care of.
Absolutely. Rogue Publishing Partners is a collection of independent businesses, all there that can fulfill any need that you have when you publish a book. Writers, editors, publishers, ghostwriters, all of the resources that you need for publishing a book are right there under one roof. So check out roguepublishingpartners.com and let's talk about what a book can do for your business. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next time on the podcast to talk about how you can elevate your business in this challenging marketplace. Talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening to Culture, Communication, and Brand Moments with your host, Shelby Jo Long. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.